Okay, so I pulled the Calibus. Today is one of those days that I have to take back and remember uh, Gore. This man entered my life, and I didn't know how we were going to proceed. So I rallied the troops that were with me, and we're going to take that little trip down Remembrance Lane. And as we all know, as Mandalorians, we remember the fallen with true aim. So let's get into that, shall we? For Gore. And that was the wrong damn intro. That's how bad things are. Truly the worst cutaway to date that I have done. So we'll have to give it to you at the end. How about that? Today is the remembrance. Today is the day that I got the call that Gore had passed. And if you know me, truly know me, you saw the video on my Facebook page. It was a day that shocked me, obviously. Gore and I had just solidified our friendship with making the rounds. We had given away a starship that he had made, and he had all these big plans with Yester Toys, even with Toymeister. He had these big plans of what we wanted to do. And when he gave that ship away to the little girl, it was the yellow Millennium Falcon because for some reason she wanted a yellow Millennium Falcon. He looked at me and he says, "This is why we do what we do for the kids, to put smiles on these faces. It doesn't matter if we don't have a lot of money, just enough to pay the bills. So when we do this, we're going to build us our own little place, and this is what we're going to do. You're going to be broadcasting. I'm going to be making stuff. Then we've got the 757, and these guys know what they're doing. This is it. We've made the big time. I love you. You're my best friend." And I looked at him and I said, "I love you too. Don't get carried away with it. And I will see you later." Those were my last words. I regret that because a week later, on a Monday, I got the call that he had passed. And I yelled, and I couldn't fathom that he was gone. So I had to make the calls, and I made the calls, and you guys rallied. It's I felt like Captain Kirk with the death of Spock. There's a lot of things that I have faced. I have faced so many different things. I've faced a gun in my face, shotguns in my face, and never flinched, didn't care, didn't have nothing. But this shook me to my core. This just shook me to my core. I couldn't believe it. He and I had started to build something, and now he was gone, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And Big L, you took me aside at the wake and handed me this coin. And you told me if I ever needed anything, you didn't care day or night. Whatever I needed, I could call on you. And I held that with me firmly. To this day, I still have that coin. That's 4 years later. Uh, when I turned to Alan, it was whatever you need, bud, I'm here. And I said, I need someone to help me speak at his eulogy. And there you were. You had just met the man. We were just becoming friends. We were all just becoming fast friends. And he was so excited to be part of the 757. And it was amazing to me that this had happened. Joe, tell me about your experience.
Oh man, guys. Uh I remember I think watching one of your programs one time and I saw a Millennium Falcon unlike anything I'd ever seen before in the background and I kind of questioned you on it. And you said my friend Gore does this type of stuff and then I just started seeing all sorts of uh work that he had done and everything. Um then we all I think, including our wives, we went to out to lunch one time, and that's where he presented me, where he presented me the high bounty. And I think Larry was on the other side of me, and Larry was giving him the color scheme of what he wanted. Now, when I first met Gore, he seemed to be very quiet, very shy, um, kind of to himself. But as we talked and as we um, got to know each other, in some funny way, you couldn't get the man to shut up. He was. I mean, he was. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
think. I don't think I ate
that
much.
was him.
I don't know if I ate much of my lunch because every time I turn around, he was like, "Hey, Alan, look at this," and he's showing me all of his work on his phone and everything. And then, of course, of the other Millennium Falcon, and then uh, this piece, this ship is something from Five Below, and now it's one of a kind, and I'm very honored to have it. Matter of fact, that's the picture I think I saw. So the the other thing that really got me too was is that he was like a kid in a candy store when we were at Yester Toys. Alan, come here. Alan, come here. You got to see this, man. You got to see this. And my 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 upsetness or my depression from this comes from the fact that you three gentlemen had that same energy, that same, I guess you could say, love for the fandoms and for my friendship. We more, like Big L and I were, we've known each other for years. We're like family. Of course, now Mark and you, Calibus, y'all are brothers that I've never had before, and that's my regret is that I didn't get a chance to know Gore like I knew you guys, and he went from very shy type of person to all of a sudden he was like wanting to be my best friend, and I valued that. He was a great person to deal with, and um, and to speak at his funeral, that was kind of tough. I had never done anything like that before, and you know, I was just asking my wife how many years it was, and you were right, Calibus. I didn't know it had been 4 years, and then I thought it was a little bit, few days earlier, until my wife says no, it's the 21st of December. It's the same day that my daughter had a little bit of issues. I was like, oh crap. So now everything connects. But he was a wonderful individual. His artwork was out of this world. I'm just sorry that Big L didn't get a chance to get his done because he was like next in line with me, and you couldn't have asked for a better friend. And um, you know, being that we're remembering him makes me think stronger about our closeness and our brotherhood that we have here, and then of course some of the people that is watching right now. And thank you.
It's I know Marky Mark is the he's the last one to actually join us, but it's something about the camaraderie of being with you guys. You know what I mean? I remember when Big L, when we were talking, and he was like, I'm really thinking this Mark guy. I'm really looking at him as one of our leadership guys. We need to pull him in. And I was like, man, I was thinking the same thing. He's always supporting us. He's always bringing us in. And now you guys are, with the car and Simon, you guys are my world, my support system. This is where I go to. You know, um, it's a little harder now because, excuse me, we meet people, they come into our lives, and then they, I don't know how to really say this without just really kind of blurting it out. They come in our lives and they mean well, but they're not meant to stay part of the collective. Let me say it that way. They have these issues. These issues kind of boil over, and once you start affecting not just me but other people in the crew, that's when I gotta, I've got to kind of, hey, I got to protect my people. I've got to pull back. I got to put that wall up because I lost one. I'll be damned if I start losing everybody else or friendships at 54. You know what I mean? It's tough. We don't make friends lightly. So if I do have that moniker to say, hey, that's my friend, you know what I mean? That means I'm willing to go that mile for you. I'm willing to step in front of that bullet for you because you are my friend. A friend to me is like family, you know. Uh, I don't have, like Doc Holliday, I don't have many friends. Big L, glad you're back, sir. Chime in on me.
Yeah, sorry, network issues. The wife and the daughter are having some fun, but no, yeah, I was a little disappointed that I was the odd man out of getting one of the custom Millennium Falcons. I already had the name picked out. We were going to go with Rigelian Crest, kind of bridging the gap between Star Wars and Star Trek. Um, and then, we were going to look at a kind of a black and a blue, and a little bit of red, kind of motif in there, um, for the science side of things. And I was looking forward to it. And then, when things happen, it was one of those things where you're like, okay, I can't be upset at that. It's one of those things like, all right, it is what it is. Um, Gore was, I guess the best way to put it is he's a force to be reckoned with. I mean, he was kind of um, an encompassing person per se, and he would constantly, anytime that you were around him, you just felt you felt like you were wanted, and that you were part of his pack, if you will. And I love that. When we were, Alan spoke about being at lunch at Chili's there on Virginia Beach Boulevard. We were kind of we were meeting you guys kind of for the first time. Y'all were kind of just meeting us, and we were getting to know each other. And I say this all the time, but Alan's always been the more laid back and trustworthy person, and like, and I've always been well, let me size these guys up because I don't let people into my bubble very often. I don't allow people to see a different side of me, and there's not many people, like you said, that I do call friends, and there's very few that I call brother. Um, and then with doing that, it's one of those things where I was like, okay, I think these guys are going to be okay. I think these are the type of people that we want to center ourselves with. And, we're going forward. I'm looking, into the future, what we can do. You guys give the yellow Millennium Falcon to the little girl, and unfortunately, I had to work that day, so I wasn't able to be there. But I saw all the pictures, I saw the videos. I was trying to keep up with everything, and then all of a sudden, we get the call, and it's almost like, even though you don't know someone for a long amount of time, the time that you did have with them, it impacted you so much that it sticks with you no matter where you go in life. So that's where I was like, okay, this sucks. This sucks bad. And so that's why when we do go to cons, we do go to places, we remember Gore. We put up his picture. He is, whether he's not there in person, he's there in spirit. We're always going to carry Gore with us, because at the end of the day, one thing he said that resonated with me, he goes, "We do this because of the children. We do it for the smiles that we see on their faces." And that right there resonated with me. And I was like, all right, that's why we put up with some of the BS that we put up with. That's why we put up with, the emails and the constant, are we there? Are we not there? And all the long nights of, con weekends where we're barely sleeping and everything. It's because we do it for the fans. We do it for the kids. And I'm simply in awe of his presence, even though he's not physically with us. If that can make sense to you guys, it's even though he's not physically there, I'm still in awe of his presence, because everything we do, every panel we put on, every conversation we have, there's a little bit of Gore in that, and we do that because he was our other brother, and he was part of the 5-pack. And now that we're the 4 horsemen, it doesn't feel right not including him in everything. So he will be missed. He's always missed, but he continues to go with us wherever we go.
Yeah. I had found the picture of the little girl with the yellow Millennium Falcon, and I had put that up. And then there was that picture that we went down to the mall, down at Pembroke, before they took Pembroke Mall down, and we become those old people that say, I remember when Pembroke Mall was standing. I say that about the outside theater all the time because I saw Return of the Jedi there. But we took those pictures, and I never thought about the iconic pose that he and I did I use. I think matter of fact, it's up on my thing right now. But me and him standing there, all draped out, doing our little thing, and I swear to you guys, though, it's so surreal that would have such an impact, because he was the one who came up with the whole. I need you to make that symbol. Make us a symbol. Take 3 things and put it all into one. And I was like, you want me to do what now? Take 3 things and make it into one, which became this symbol eventually. And then, of course, the Priory symbol, because we started out with a regular mythosaur. Then I used a black sun to criminal organization, and then the hunter's eyes. And the mythosaur was for the guy. We had a friend of ours who was a big Boba Fett fan, and so I used the mythosaur for him. The black sun, because I thought that was the coolest thing. You got these criminal organizations, gangsters, mobsters inside Star Wars. I'll take that. That's going to be my symbol. And Gore was the merc. He was the hunter. He was the merc. So that's how that symbol came about. Now, for those of you who did not know, Gore was a big, big Tron fan. Snow was her name. The young lady who won the yellow speeder, Millennium Falcon, her name was Snow. So I want to thank Harley V for that. Thank you. I got to see Miss Harley V today in her little bear ears today. I thought she was a little Ewok walking through the door. She had these. Look, they were so cute. I had to touch them. I said, "Come here for a minute. Let me grab those little ears." So Tron, he's a big Tron fan, and I wanted to honor him with everything that we did. So later this year, and it took me 3 years to get the symbol right, to get the thing right, to get everything right. And this is what we came up with. Let me get this comment off so everybody can see this good here. Oh, she said you're welcome. Keep my head warm. Okay, here we go. So we came up with this. So the light cycle comes whipping through and it brings up the cosmic portal symbol. And I was like, that's for Gore. I honor him every time I make a video. Because for me, he pushed me to get this far. And that was the biggest thing that I had ever, I never dreamed that this was going to be like this. Because when I met with you guys, I told him, I said, the 757 is pretty big. They go to all these conventions. They get asked to go to conventions. No one's going to ask us to go anywhere. I said, if they like us, they might ask us to tag along, but it's going to be work. We have to prove ourselves to get to the work. And then after I met you guys, man, I love those guys. Those guys are just what we need to go ahead and did. He was so energetic. And then when we gave that gift to that little girl, that was it. He was over the moon. He had said we had made it. And now the bigger plan is to take all of this and not just branch off, although that's what we've done. We have a North Carolina chapter. We got two big powerhouses based here, and now we have a third in North Carolina. But now it's time for us to move forward and actually take this and move it into something more solid, which means trying to open up a physical place that we can do what no one else is doing. And I'm not going to say that live on the air because it pissed me off. 2 months later, somebody does it, and now we're ass out. So know this. Within 5 years, there's going to be something big coming from all of us. We're all going to be involved. We're all going to be taking this very seriously. One, I owe it to Gore because that's what he said he wanted to do. He wanted to open up something where we could go in and do our thing and never have to worry about trying to be with someone else or, renting a space or whatever else. We'll have our own space. But each one of you, and Mark, I know you haven't really said anything because you never really met Gore. But you being here as my general manager and media champion of the Cosmic Portal, it's important that you know that I cherish all our friendships. I cherish you because you came in and you've always been so very helpful with you and your family, Miss and Captain Zena. My wife adores your cheesecake, and she likes putting it in my face. Jedi Joe's like me too. So she had that piece of cheesecake, and she kind of taunted me, knowing damn well I couldn't eat that rich cheesecake because it is so thick, and I mean it's in your mouth and it melts in your mouth, and then I'm going to need water, and then I'm full and I can't eat real food. So, but having you guys with me doing this is one of the greatest things that I could ever hope to accomplish. Okay. And then I'm going to say it, my boy from Missouri, who, asked me, and this is exactly what he said. So if there's any kids watching, I need you to understand that this is more of an adult show. And I dropped the colorful metaphors very harshly here. He asked me what the fuck was wrong with me. This is not you. You're not going to do this. You're not going to sit here and self-pity. It's been almost a year and the Priory was born. That's how the Priory came about. And it wasn't until last year, the end of last year, that the Priory blew up. Thanks to you, Taco Cat. I greatly appreciate all that you've done in the name of what we done. Gore is the lighter on the light cycle. Yes, he is actually. And Miss Liz went to Disneyland, and we have a little light cycle that lights up that we're going to set next to his picture. Gore was a Star Wars fan, but he was a huge Tron fan. When I was talking to Jim, Jim's like, I sold him so much stuff. And I was like, yeah, because that's what he wanted. That's what he loved. And I had told Gore, we were at Toy Meister, and he saw the light cycle. And I said, buy it. I don't know, Calibus. I don't know. As a collector, I'm telling you, you're going to want it. If you leave now, you're never, ever going to get it. Again, these words would ring true because, of course, he passed. So he never got a chance to get his light cycle. Well, baby, I got your light cycle. It's going to be on the table right next to your picture because you deserve that. Not only do you have that picture on the 757 table and the Cosmic Portal table, but we take it every time that we go to a convention to do this to honor him. It's just what we do. So, in the coming year, 757, NC chapter, Cosmic Portal. If there's anyone that would like to mention or have a remembrance for a fallen friend, please contact us. We'd be more than happy to do that for you. We're going to make sure that you, the fans, are appreciated. We'd like to know birthdays. We like to set out the birthdays. We like to do all those things because you guys come here for our entertainment. And it's not easy. Darth life gets in the way. Jedi Joe says it best, Darth life, here he comes again. And if it wasn't for the pandemic, a lot of this stuff never would have happened. It was that pandemic and that round table that brought Marky Mark to us that, we flourished after, he went to the conventions, right, Mark? You met them at the conventions and then you joined us on the round table. Then you became a knight of the round table. Then I was like, hey, look, I have nobody. I need some help over here. And you were like, hey, I'm down for that. But I do have some conventions I go. I'm like, you can have your conventions. I need you here to help me with this. And it's just been great. So we're going to do more for you guys. Mark, is there anything you want to say, sir?
I did want to say a few things. Like you said, I never did meet Gore, but I did experience what he had offered to the group. When you said, yeah, I met Jedi Joe and Big L at, that would have been MarsCon when they were doing Lucas versus Roddenberry in Williamsburg. That's probably about 5 or 6 years ago when I first met them. And, thoroughly I hit it off with the guys. I absolutely loved that panel. And it was just something I really enjoyed. And then when I saw them again, I think it was probably Tidewater Con, I did see Gore's Millennium Falcon there. And I thought it was amazing when Jedi Joe told me that he got it made because I wanted to know where I can buy one. And that's when I realized that it was specially made and it was a one of a kind piece. So that was a little sad. The one thing I did want to bring up, like you said, we did have this belt made, And the one great thing that's on it, like you said, the light cycle. When we decided that we were going to make a belt for this, you had other designs, but when we saw it this together like this, we all came to an agreement that this is what it should look like. This is special. I love this belt. I'll be sad if I ever have to give it up. I don't see that happening though, but if it ever did happen, at that point, I understand I have to give it away. But, when we all came together and came up with this design, I thought it was special to honor Gore for what he had brought before. And like I said, we still have the symbol and we have the light cycle there. So, that's one thing that I thought was special. And yeah, like everybody said, unfortunately, I never did get a chance to meet him. Like we said, when COVID happened and you guys started doing the roundtable, I thoroughly enjoyed it because it was something that all I did all day. I worked from here. I'm in this house all day. And when I got to watch other people talking about stuff that I love, it was so great. Yeah, absolutely. But it was so great to get to see what you guys were talking about, and to talk about things that I also love to talk about. My wife says the same thing. She enjoyed it because she never had anybody that she can talk Star Trek with until we met you guys. So that was something that we actually love. I'm a Star Wars guy. I always talk about Star Wars, and she had nobody. And you can easily find people that want to talk about Star Wars, but you can't find random people that want to talk about Star Trek. So that was great. And then when I got to join the round table and really discuss with you guys, I was so excited about that. And then when you brought me into your inner circle as a part of the group, I'm very thankful. I think the first thing we did, we went and saw a movie together, which was fantastic. We had lunch, then we saw the movie, and I had a great time that day. So,
Black Adam.
Black Adam, that's what it was. Yeah, I was so happy about that because, I was going to go see it, but, got to see it with some guys that enjoyed it. We got to talk about it, had a fantastic time. So all I can say is I've enjoyed meeting you guys. You are my family. I'm so thankful that I got a chance to, introduce into this group. And, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to meet Gore, but, him liking Tron, that's something close to my heart as well. So, I feel like he's still here in part.
Calvis, if you remember when we were coming up with the design of this belt, I was saying it on one of the voice messages. I said, I don't know why, and I can't put my finger up, but why that light cycle with the symbol just resonates with me. I can't put my finger on it. Yeah. I had forgotten completely that Gore was such a huge Tron fan. And when Mark just brought that up, now it hits now, and it's
subconsciously, you were saying that to yourself, weren't you?
Yeah, it's like, okay, now I know why it resonated so much. Like at the time, because I was at work and I was trying to do other things, I'm like, I don't know why that particular symbol and that picture resonates more than the rest of them, because the other one looked great. The other designs looked great and they were really cool, but that particular one just kind of, you said, hey, look, I can't put my finger on it. Why? But this is the one that we need to go with. That's the one that I'm voting for. So I just wanted to point that out, that Mark, until you said that, I had completely forgotten.
Yeah, because I had went with what I always go with, which is my red and whatever. And I was trying to get away from that, and now with the Cosmic Portal being more blue and black and light blue and all that, because when I was putting the light cycle thing together, I was going through my buyer and I was talking to him. And he's like, what did you need? I was like, well, first I need, he goes, wait a minute, you're a big Batman fan, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm a huge Batman fan. You know that. What? So I got this thing, and it was the Batman throwing the light switch for the Dogs of Gotham intro that we do now. And I was like, oh, we got to have that. So he goes, well, I said, I need something sci-fi. I said, at least give me something. You got something with Tron type stuff in it? He's like, oh, man, yeah, I got something. And that's where that came from. So when we got all that together, and then we're making the belt, immediately I'm thinking I'm gonna win. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be me, cause I run this shit. I am the man. No. So when you guys were going through it, I said, man, you know what? That's probably the best thing. Harley V says he saw the Tron yes toys and Gore was speaking through him. Oh, okay. I told Calibus, we got the car. Personality. Yeah. A lot of this is so surreal for me because I'm not good with the process of death. For me, it's okay, we have to move on. And I keep my mind off of it and I keep pushing on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing until there were no next things. And then my body started failing me, and then I couldn't walk for 6 months. I'm bedridden. I can't do anything. Bills are piling up. We're about to lose everything. And then all of a sudden, boom, I remember getting that dream like, hey, Calibus, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. And I was like, I was kind of like American Werewolf in London. Jack, why are you here? I don't need you here in my room, So, again, it was you guys. It was you guys. And Dakar, who constantly made sure I was all right. He made sure. Every couple of hours, you all right over there? What are you doing? Go find something to do. Stop thinking. Go find something to do. Go create something. Go do this. Go do that. And then one night we stayed up. We made the Priory symbol. We put it out there and we did what we had to do. But now it is time for us to move forward with what we're doing. I'm officially retiring this hat because this is one of the last hats that we had with the old symbol on it. And, we're going to take the time just to revel in what we're doing. Yeah. So was Gore. he constantly did things, I think, just to see how far he could piss me off. And speaking of that, where is it? Oh, yeah. So when I asked him to do my Millennium Falcon, I told him I wanted it black and red, like the Lego set that just came out of the black and red Millennium Falcon. He said he couldn't do it. So, this guy goes to my wife because she goes, I want a ship. He made her a ship. Black and blue. Yeah. And then he gave her a red engine light. And he goes, well, I did that because she's Sith. And I said, do you not recall the conversation we had where you said black would not look cool on the ship? He goes, yeah, but it's for Jinky. I've been hearing that phrase for the last 20-something years. Yeah, but it's Jinky. So she got a specially made ship, although it's in my possession. But when I saw this ship, we used to role play from the old Mae West Star Wars game, which is a 3D. No, it's a 6D game. All you needed is 6-sided to play that game. And my ship was called the Foxfire. So when Gore pulled it out of the bag, I'm sitting there staring at this ship. And he's like, what's the matter? You don't like it. And I said, it's not that. I'm seeing what I had on paper come to life, and it's in my hands. And then he said, no. There's something else. And when I flipped it over, I had that iconic blue. You know what I mean? This is my out of all the Millennium Falcons I have a Lego Millennium Falcon, I have Galaxy's Edge, and I have the original, and then I have the original. But this one, because in my mind and me role playing so many years as captain of the Foxfire, that's my ship. He's done all kind of stuff. My Mandalorian armor is thanks to Gore. My guns, I have a DL-44 and a sniper rifle. He did for me. He painted it up for me, and I use those when I cosplay. But I think through him and the friendship that we've done and the things that we're going to do, Alan's ship sits in my Grogu room. So you've been hijacked, sir. Your ship has been impounded by the Imperials. I just want to thank you all. I wanted to come together. I'm going to be honest with you. Next year, I'll probably just put up a nice little remembrance video. I don't mind doing these things, but at the same time, he knows. He's with us. He knows. He sees it. Every time we run that Cosmic Portal logo and that light cycle whips out, he's there. So we haven't forgotten him. For the Priory of the Phoenix, we always remember our fallen. And today is that day. And I'm going to post it up always. But it is time for us to pick up ourselves and go to our next evolution. And our next evolution is, we're going to take these library cons. We're going to see if we can get into some of the bigger cons, and we're going to make that name for ourselves. We're going to be out there. We're going to be the ones that everybody says, "Hey, what about that last group that was here? We need them back." That's what we're going to do. So I want to thank you all for taking time out of your day. Because originally I wanted this to be a 15-minute show, and Jedi Joe said, "No, you take the time that you need to do this." And I want to thank you for that, because you're right. It can't be rushed. It's something felt from the heart. This is something that I needed to do. And having my boys with me, even my boy in Missouri, this is great. I feel a lot better, because this morning it hit me hard. It hit me really hard. I didn't know how hard it hit me until I was halfway to Yester Toys, and I was fighting back the tears. And heaven forbid that something happens to one of you guys, because then now I gotta start all over again and do this thing. It's just, I need you guys. So take care of yourselves. The Bacta tank will be coming back online, which means we need to get healthy. Big L has already started. Alan, I'm looking at you, sir. You're looking good in your Jedi robes. I'd like for you to continue. And Marky Mark, I know you started your journey before all of us. So let's just keep staying healthy, guys. Get together, do these walks, and we'll start to back the tank, like we do everything else the first of the year. We'll start celebrating that with the NC chapter and move on. We'll do some giveaways. Sometime in January, we'll start a giveaway for all the groups. But I think what I'm going to mainly do is Marky Mark, DC Reviewer. We will give away one of your special shirts. You know what I mean? Especially with your man coming through. That trailer was hyped.
It was. I just watched it again today with my son-in-law, because he had never seen it. So yeah, I love that trailer.
I think that's going to be the bomb, and we're going to definitely get together and all get up and do that. Oh, Harley V. Miss you guys. Thank you for taking care of our brother. Oh man, appreciate that. So, thank you all for joining us. I know this has been a 45-minute for all of you who stayed with us throughout all this. I cannot thank you enough for helping me remember my fallen brother who who took me literally by storm and changed me forever. He was supposed to be working at Yester Toys. Now I'm at Yester Toys, and it's all thanks to him. And of course, Mr. Jim Augustine, who loved Gore. And when Gore passed, he said, "Calibus, you're family too now. Don't be a stranger." And Jim has come through for me and my family in ways that I cannot express. That's why I'm so passionate about Yester Toys, because he loved Gore and he took care of me when I was down, and I'm there now trying to do my part, there at the shop. So again, thank you to Mr. Jim Augustine and Yester Toys and the little Care Bear, Harley V. So guys, again, we got the Dogs of Gotham will be interviewing the Red Hood director, writer, and star of the Red Hood series from YouTube. That'll be coming up soon. It'll be sometime after Christmas. If not, it'll definitely be sometime. Wait a minute. No, this is it. It'll be in January. We're shut down. We're completely shut down. I want everybody to spend with their families. Enjoy the time that you can. Because when January hits, we go right back to work. We're getting this stuff going. Roundtable, Dogs of Gotham, DC Reviewer, Portal Room, Matriarchs of Fandom, and of course, The Covert with the Marshal returns back in our fold. And I cannot forget the newest show, In the Ring with Big L. We had our debut showing. Big L, he brought it on out, and we did the Next Up Wrestling, and it was a fantastic time. So I want to thank all of you as we head on out. We will see you in the upcoming year. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. Big L's having some difficulties. I'm pretty sure he'll pop back in afterwards, and we can shoot the shit for a little bit if you guys like. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you for helping me remember my man Gore. And I will take us out with just this.